Hi, this is Sven at Manticore Arms, and today we're going to take a quick look at the Tactical Assault Gear Mayhem armor carrier. This armor carrier is designed for BALCS and spear panels. This is a size medium. One thing I want to point out, this dummy is actually a similar size to me. I chose it specifically for that. I'm 5'6" and 165 pounds, about a 34-inch waist, and 38 to 40-inch chest. You will notice this carrier is not actually adjusted inward on the side panels, but it gives you a good general idea of what size this medium carrier is. This is medium in multicam. Even though it looks mostly tan, there is some multicam here. There's just so much extraneous material that isn't multicam, it's kind of hard to tell. Starting off, it's a BALCS carrier, and the shoulder pads here, you can see they're a bit bulky, a little bit narrow, and they've got this grippy material on them. Not sure what it is, almost feels like a fake leather vinyl type material, but theoretically it's pretty good for shouldering a rifle, a little better than you get that slick webbing sometimes or the nylon that slides off. You'll notice there's the American flag here and this pillow here. This is actually a quick release handle. This is one of the few quick release carriers, and I'm not going to yank on the handle because it's a mess to put it back together. Basically what happens is there's some plastic covered steel cables that run through here, and they're routed in such a way that if things go bad and you need to get out of your armor real quick, you can see these straps hold together the mechanism, and then in here you can see here's one of the cables running through here, and these plastic plates are attached to the side, the cummerbund panels. So what happens is when you pull on that and yank it real hard, this cable deroutes, pulls through, and the cable that locks the shoulder straps on pulls through, and then it leaves it clear that if you wiggle, everything kind of comes apart and falls right off you. It's a good system. It's a system that's pretty much used by everybody by variation for that kind of quick release system. So then the pillow is velcroed on here, so it's not going anywhere real quick, but if you have to grab it, yank real hard, and boom, the whole system comes off. This carrier, the Mayhem carrier, comes in two different versions. The traditional one, or the one that people would be familiar with, is where you have a Velcro front panel and the cummerbund wraps around underneath there, and then the panel drops down. This is what they call their side panel system. Initially I was kind of excited to see it because it's different, and I like the concept of it. But I guess in reality it didn't work as well as I thought, and maybe it's just the details of it. One problem with the front panel, as anybody who has magazine pouches on has discovered, if you're trying to lift that thing up and do the adjustment, a lot of times the magazines make it hard to get that front panel up. It just is kind of a Rube Goldberg setup to make it work. With this one, I thought it was neat because you could mount the pouches on front, your primary location, and then the sides here give you some room to work. This has a typical Tactical Assault Gear, kind of like the Banshee, the panel that wraps underneath. Guess it's okay. Some people like it, some people don't. Now, what I found immediately is you can see it's the hook Velcro here, or the loop Velcro here, and then the soft Velcro here. Same here, right? Simple layered system. Well, what happened is when it's under your armpit, trying to get around there to adjust it becomes a nightmare. To get this whole thing set up. You're struggling, this thing keeps dropping down, and you can see the problem that I ran into. Because it's hook on one side and loop on the other, this sucker would keep dropping down even when I get part way, and it'd all get messed up. Now, Diamondback Tactical, on one of their carriers, the Praetorian, actually had a really simple solution to that design issue. They just put the same type of Velcro here and here, on their front panel it was, but just the soft Velcro here and here, and then they'd put the loop type on both faces of this. So what happened is, if it dropped down, it doesn't stick to itself. The only time it adheres on both sides is when you get them locked together like that. And I think that's a much superior system. It doesn't take any extra design work to do it. It's just a matter of sewing the Velcro on the faces properly. In an ideal world, I'd love to see other companies adopt that system. It's just such a ridiculously, beautifully elegant, simple system. It makes it a lot easier to put the armor on. Anyhow, on that note, we'll move around. You can see it's got elastic in here. It's actually similar a bit to the Havoc carrier where it's got split elastic here, so it's got some give and some flex into it. There was Velcro on the front face for patches. We've also got a piece here. It's got a carry handle that Velcros down just to keep it out of the way. Big panel. This is your lift up to get at the Cummerbund access. And as I said, these plastic pieces, they're HDPE, I believe, are pre-cut, and that's how you adjust the Cummerbund. There's notches in here, and to make it tighter, you can slide it in and slide it in so you can get it adjusted to you. I actually found I couldn't, even if I had adjusted it, basically I ran out of adjustment, and I'd probably have to cut some more holes, which I don't think is a big deal, but it's too bad that the whole panel didn't just have holes the whole way. It wouldn't have really added any cost or anything to give you a little more adjustability. What you're seeing here is the hang down for the armor on the inside. So, that being said, I'm going to tilt the camera down and we'll take this off the dummy and take a look at the inside real quick. On the inside of the carrier here, I'll fold it over. You can see it's a typical Tactical Assault Gear pull down to get the armor on the inside. It doesn't go the whole way, kind of like they're actually very similar to their Havoc carrier. And what you're seeing here is the strap for the hard plate, just like the Havoc armor carrier. Gives you an adjustable ride height on the plate, so whatever plate size you're wearing, you can adjust it. And then it Velcros to this surface in here. It's a really great setup, one of the great features of their armor carriers. It's also got the webbing here, so you can attach your groin protector. And then also you can notice there's some loops here that actually, if you have a collar assembly, maybe off an IOTV, I think that's what this is intended for, you can mount that all together and you're good to go. Once again, you can see here kind of the issue you run into. There's just so much going on with this carrier with flaps and things, all these pull-down flaps and whatnot. I found it was just complex to keep track of everything when you're putting it on, and getting it adjusted took some work. It's not bad. I found the straps were maybe a little narrow, and with that cable in there, as is the problem with all carriers that are quick release with that quick release cable, when you get a lot of weight loaded in here, that cable has a natural tendency to dig into your shoulders and be a pressure point. That's not exclusive to their carrier. All of them seem to suffer that unless they've got some really good padding or a good shoulder strap design. Overall, it's not a bad carrier, and you can still get these for about $125 from TAG, which is a steal for a quick release carrier. So if it's got the features you like, it's actually a really great carrier. They're transferring away from it to go to some other designs, hence the deal. They used to be about $300-400, but I think for the $125 price, it's really a great overall carrier. Maybe some minor features that could be changed just for getting in and out, but overall, not bad. And that is the TAG Mayhem armor carrier for BALCS and spear panels and hard armor, and thank you for watching.